Hello and what is up my friends, it's Thunder Bob here, and tonight we're going to be playing through the Diablo IV beta as the Necromancer, and this class absolutely slays. This character is by far the strongest character I have played in the beta. I beat the main story mission in under 2 hours. I didn't focus on any of the side content, I really just wanted to push through and see how fast I could do the main story. And as you see in this video, I just demolish everything in my path, super easy. By the end of the main story, I just felt unstoppable. I got up to level 13, almost 14. I'm 14 now. When I beat the main story, is kind of what I was rocking by the end. And I just quickly want to show you the skills and just talk about what I think are the best. I use mostly bone splinters for this first one because it had that triple attack, so it was really good for dealing with multiple enemies. But really the powerhouse was Blood Surge. You can see the initial damage does 91 to 111, and then the Nova damage is 229 to 279. That initial damage covers so much area of the screen, and it literally will one-shot most enemies at the low level. So this skill is so good for low level and leveling up. I'll show you that momentarily, but this skill, once I got it, I went so fast. I played around with most of the other ones, but this is just so much better, I think, than anything else. I put 1 point here just as like a movement and security spell, but I really didn't need it too much. Corpse Explosion, really fun also, but considering this, the initial damage from this covers almost the entire screen and doesn't require corpses, I mostly use this. This is nice because there's no cooldown, there's no mana cost. As long as there are corpses, you can basically keep Corpse Explosion going. It's really amazing, and I feel like later on, when the scaling of health on the enemy starts going up, this is probably going to be way better. But right now, it's really nice when there are a lot of corpses around. You'll see a couple of moments where I use it to just clear the entire screen. I got down to Decrepify. Things were dying so quick, I really just didn't need curses. And then I didn't get... I literally just, I think, got enough points to come down here and try out these next area. But I haven't actually played around with them much, so I will probably tomorrow play through up to like 20-ish. Like my Sorceress, I get up to 25, and I'll maybe do some dungeon runs with a optimized setup. But right now, Necromancer absolutely murders. I played through the Druid to about level 10 also. Didn't find it anywhere near as powerful. I'm not sure if the Necro is overpowered or if the Druid is underpowered, but the Necromancer definitely a lot of fun, and I'll just show you like how much murdering this skill in particular can do. There's these big packs. It doesn't even have to hit them with the larger Nova attack. Like, just the blood pool will just about one-shot these guys. And then I've got 7 skeletons from my boots. This gives me 2 additional skeletons. This makes my Nova from the Blood Surge trigger twice, and just overall, just amazing. If you are looking for the most powerful class, I think it's probably the Necro. The Source is a close second, but this just is amazing. It clears the entire screen. The radius on it is huge. It heals you. It fortifies you. Like, this thing will not just heal you, it will give you like a fortified buff on top of that. So it's just incredible. By far the best skill I've played with in the beta. But yeah, I'm gonna jump ahead here to the actual video next. This will be a full playthrough of the main story. I primarily am skipping the story elements. If you want to see like a full playthrough with all of the story videos, check out my Sorcerer video. This is going to be strictly me rushing through and checking out how fast I can beat the beta, and I do it in about 2 hours or so. Yeah, we'll jump right into it, and thank you for watching, everyone.
Before I freeze.
Hello and what's up, everybody? It's Thunder Bob here, and tonight I'm going to be playing some more Diablo IV. The beta's going on. It's Friday night of the 2nd week, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to check this out again. We have new classes to play, and tonight I'm going to be checking out the Necromancer. I have heard from others that they are pretty overpowered compared to everyone, maybe the Sorcerer who I played last weekend, who I enjoyed a lot. I did play just a little bit of the Druid earlier. I was playing some co-op with a buddy, and then he got disconnected, and we kind of were not able to continue playing together. So I am going to be playing the Necro tonight. And I'm going to be trying to rush through. I want to just see how quickly I can get from the beginning of the story to the end of Act 1. I'm going to be probably skipping through most of the story elements. If you want to see like a full playthrough with all of the cinematics, go check out my Sorcerer video from last week. But this is going to be just like a straight playthrough, going as quick as I can. I want to see if I can beat the main story in about 2 hours. Like kind of just bypassing the side content as much as possible, just rushing for the main story.
Come, I'll explain.
And I'm kind of like, I'm curious, you know, everything scales to your level, so if you just rush through it, kind of how will the game react to that? Like if I get to the end of Act 1 at level like, you know, 13 or something, is it going to be doable? With the Necromancer being pretty powerful, I think that may be possible.
Could you protect us from...
And I did start with 2 skill points because of these renown-based skill points you get. So that should help a little bit as well to get through here. And I have not looked closely at anything, so I may take a moment to kind of play around with skills as I'm going. So I got like, kind of like, it almost looks like teeth from Diablo 2. And what I find really weird about the balance, so like, the Druid primarily is a melee character, has to get up close, and it's got like shape-shifting ability, and it's kind of interesting. Like you don't have just like a werewolf and a werebear button on your bar anymore. Like you actually you use, you know, like the werebear attack, and you'll turn into the bear. You use the werewolf attack, and you'll turn into the wolf. And it's kind of like very on the fly. It happens very quickly. And I think the intent is so you can like, you could have a build that is, you know, part werebear, part werewolf, and then also casting, so you can go back and forth really quickly. But right now the melee just feels kind of bad. Like maybe it gets better at the high level, but like the Druid was doing way less damage in melee range on single target than this teeth attack is doing at range, and it also hits 3 enemies at the same time. And I have, you know, 4 skeletons out, all doing damage as well. Yeah, it just, the balance feels very odd. Maybe at the high level, you know, as all these things come together. But at the low level, like, this feels infinitely easier than the Druid was. I do think that the melee characters probably need a pass, like a balanced pass. You know, if you have to get close to the enemy, if you have to chase them down, if you have to worry about them running away, all that stuff, probably you should be doing a bit more damage. Or you need the ability to get really close and into combat easily. I find it's weird how much damage this is doing. Deal 6 damage each subsequent time. Enemies hit by the same cast, you gain 1 essence. So they have essence generated when using certain skills and over time. So the other thing that kind of sucks about the Druid is their energy source does not build up over time. You have to attack. So it's like, not only are you doing less damage, you only generate your resource by using like your basic attacks. Like, just overall, it feels kind of busted. Like this one, like, it's almost like I think the Sorcerer probably regenerates the quickest from what I've seen. But like, it's regenerating pretty quickly here. But it kind of doesn't matter, because Teeth is doing almost as much damage, and it's triple hitting from like level 1. Curious what the next... Bone Splitter has 20% chance per hit to make enemies vulnerable. Well, that's pretty cool. Hitting the same enemy at least 3 times the same cast grants 8% critical strike. Okay. Alright, I just quickly respect. I've got Reap and Bone Spear. I'm gonna try these out. Crazy that it doesn't cost any mana either. You just need the corpses. I guess corpses are kind of a resource for the Necro. I mean, I like the animation on this and how wide of an attack it is. It actually feels way better as far as like a melee attack goes than any of the Druid starting attacks, I would say. Like, I went through all of them and just none of them felt great. But like, just the range on this thing. Only does 4 damage though, so pretty small damage, but just the crazy, crazy wide swing of it is fun. And then we got Bone Spear here, which of course is like a Diablo II ability, but now it's got, with upgrades, breaks into 3 shards when it is destroyed, dealing 3 damage each. So when it finally breaks, it bounces off and has even more like ricocheting shards. That's pretty cool. I think I like that better than Blood Surge, just like, or Blood Lance, just at the first try. It does 17 damage to enemy and all other lands damage. I'm gonna have to go through all of these, you know, just playing around with them. I didn't like the channeled starter ability for the Necro. It felt a little... like, I just don't love channeled abilities in general. I hate having to stand still, I guess. Like, they need to do way extra damage to compensate for it. Like, I'm thinking, like, Diablo 3, the Wizard was my main when I did play that, and I liked Archon. But, like, was it Ray of Frost? Just, it didn't quite deal enough damage. I also like that this gives you more essence per enemy hit, so this is probably the best starter as far as generating essence. Like, this gives you 5 total, but this one, if you hit 10 enemies, that's 40 essence right there. And then you got your channeling attack. And, yeah, that one gives you blood orbs, which is kind of a cool mechanic. Let's just see. This was kind of a pain on the Druid I was playing. I'm curious. Holy shit, that does a lot more damage. Yeah, the resource regeneration is definitely slower than on the Sorceress. Like there, it would refill in just, you know, 5 seconds. Here, even when attacking, it takes considerably longer. At this level, I'm basically just looking for, is it green? If it's green, put it on. Oh, I should have grabbed one of those orbs before I went up.
You've returned.
The old
You sound
ruins are
surprised.
clear. Your town should be safe.
Lost souls.
That's a really cool cinematic. That's probably the best, like, tone setting cinematic in the entire game. I think even more than when they introduced Lilith. Like, that song that they're singing as you're being, like, carted away. And again, if you want to watch it, check out my first video. But man, it's very atmospheric and at least sets the tone for, I feel like, the rest of the game.
Madman. Though.
Kind of sucks though that Raised Skeleton's gonna take a slot down here, so like I'm assuming you can get rid of this, but you kind of get like one less skill than everyone else. Though I guess you could forego upgrade available. Open the Book of the Dead. How do I do that? Oh, Book of the Dead. Level up to unlock more. Okay, so you probably looks like you get to. I think I read about this. You get to pick, I think, which one you want, and then each of these are also going to have like ways you can kind of customize. It's kind of like each class has their own unique mechanics. The sorcerer has like the enchantment system. You can raise one additional skirmisher. Why did that kill them all though? Each time you critically strike, your skirmisher warriors next to attack critically strike. That critical strike is so bad though. Critical strike chances increased, but you can no longer raise skeleton warrior. Interesting. But when I did that, yeah, so that like got rid of it when I did that. So you could forego them and you get a like a bonus for it. So there is some benefit if you decide not to go with them. Upgrade or sacrifice. Okay, well that's pretty cool. You've got like one glove on, like Michael Jackson style. That's goofy.
Only fire can cleanse the darkness in this.
This is also another cool cinematic that we again. I am just trying to rush through and see as much as I can with the Necro.
Thank the light.
I'm gonna have even less time probably this weekend than last weekend.
You collapsed.
If you want to check it out, I have like a full playthrough of my sorcerer on the channel. I've got a couple of guide videos. I'm gonna have, I think after this weekend, I want to kind of think on it, but I'm gonna put together a video with my thoughts, you know, on the whole beta experience, on the classes I played, just things that I think could be done maybe differently or better, and things that I like. And overall, though, I'm really happy with the game so far. Overall, I think the atmosphere and the story are great. The combat's fun. There's obviously some balance issues here, but I mean, it's still beta. All these games take years to get the balance completely right. Yeah. That bone spear is really gosh darn cool. I think I like the bone splitters though better than this one. Like, this is cool because you get a lot more essence back, but I like the range. So I think we're gonna reclaim. We're gonna go back here, here. Vulnerable. 8% critical strike for 4 seconds. We'll go with vulnerable. And then should I like Bone Spear, but I kind of want to just go through all of the skills, I think. 23 damage and leaves behind a defiled area. How big is that defiled area? That's kind of cool. But again, you gotta keep guys in it. That's gonna be difficult. Oh, that's cool. The animals touched it and just melted. Oh, I love that shrine. Performance last weekend was kind of bad, and I ended up lowering my settings just a bit. I turned the biggest one actually is changing the texture quality to medium. Seems to make like a huge difference. And it may be because I'm running a 3080, which is a pretty good card, but the biggest problem I've been running into is the 10 gigabit RAM, VRAM that it comes with. I think at times the game is hitting that cap and it's causing severe stuttering. So just lowering that video, the textures to medium seems to like almost half the amount of RAM the game uses. The DLSS definitely helps also if you had an NVIDIA card. Where's the hermit's house?
Is anyone here?
Is anyone here?
Hiding back here.
I like this guy. He feels kind of like the new Deckard Kane. And we're moving.
This close to the city.
Yeah, the Necro. I can't decide if like the Necro and the Source are overtuned or if the melee, the Druid, and the Warrior are undertuned. Like, I mean, at this level, things should be pretty easy, I feel like. But this feels like maybe even too easy. Like, I could probably get by just with my skeleton. Gotta talk to him.
The angel in Arius. That's not Linger.
He's kind of a prick.
Kyovashad lies just ahead.
Not Lorath, but Anarius.
Hold. To enter the city, you must
We have no
first...
time for this.
He's right. We don't. Let us in.
To enter.
Take a piece of holy cedar
Okay.
wood from the shrine and inscribe
I
it
kind of
with
like
the seal
these
which
little
troubles.
moments like this.
Right.
Like it feels like it's definitely adding a lot of world building. Something that
Good.
in the previous Diablo games you kind of had to dig for. Like you had to go and talk to all the characters and listen to all their backstory and then go to the manual, and like so much of it was presented in the manual, but these kind of character moments I feel like add a whole lot.
So, what did you write? I'm off to the dry stone.
And again, sorry if this is the first time you're watching like, that Sorcerer video. I go through every single bit of dialogue. Feel free to go check that video out if you're more interested in the story. I've actually got 5 videos that go through all the main story and a ton of the side quests and upgrading and all that stuff in more detail.
Ah, so the old... Wait. The old man sold me this too.
I only have about 2 to 3 hours to play tonight, and I'd love to be able to get all the way through the act and just see how quickly it can be done.
Ah, apologies.
See Laura. Alright. And that's the screen that comes up like when you first start the act and also like when you get to the end. Look at my summons. They're like lagging. I'm gonna pick up these quests, but I'm mostly gonna focus on
Yes, well,
the main story quest. Unless it's something I could just like do real quickly, or it's like if I end up accomplishing it on the way.
the new militia recruits.
And this is kind of interesting. It introduces emotes to you. So I kind of wish after the first time they just kept you have to put cheer here. I kind of just wish
That was not bad.
it always left it there. Oh, I didn't realize, I didn't notice the mouse wheel thing. So you can cycle through a bunch more. That's cool. Okay. That makes it a little less cumbersome than having to add it every time.
Thanks.
And what I want to do is just check out my stash real quick. I got a bunch of stuff. I got my sorcerer to 25 last week and left a bunch of stuff in my inventory. Is that a two-hander? Yeah. Let's sell this junk. Make sure in my stash if there's anything I should be using. I went the long way.
Let's to
Oh,
salvage.
Come back if you need work.
Alpha, did you have anything? They don't really introduce the stash area, but it's kind of cool. It feels almost like it's your character's like bedroom. Ring. Cool. I can already use the shit. Wow, that's gonna increase my damage a ton. That should make this so much. This is almost like a test of twinking also. Like, I know I don't have like break here in my stash, but it's just like a bunch of random stuff I had picked up. And we are going to track the main quest. Gotta go talk to a lady in the cathedral. We can find the right path. It doesn't go out. One thing I wouldn't mind them adding from Diablo Immortal is where you can like click on a thing and like you will travel to it. Like, I know it's kind of antithetical to Diablo and almost feels like botting, but like they've introduced it at this point in the Diablo series. I mean, I guess it depends if you consider Diablo Immortal a real Diablo game or not. I did play all the way through it, and I thought it was great for a mobile game, but it was terrible for a true like Diablo game. Really added nothing to the story or lore of Diablo. But it was probably the best action RPG I've ever played on mobile. So like, if you're looking for a mobile Diablo style game, you know, maybe check it out. Wow, this is doing 200 damage now. I should be like ripping through this stuff.
Sent in priest and escort of knights. We'll report
What have I
when
not
we
tried
find
yet? So
something.
I got some space on my bar now, so I can try a few things. Alright, so I gotta go down there now. I wonder if I'm gonna have to resummon my skeletons because they seem a little bugged. Resident Evil 4 remake also came out today, so I think I'm gonna delay picking it up until I've got a couple games that I'm still beating. I've been going through Hogwarts Legacy. I'm like literally on like the last story mission. Ow. And I feel like I'm getting pretty close on it. And I was playing through Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I stopped because I got really into Hogwarts Legacy. So I'm like, I'm worried if I buy Resident Evil 4, I'm gonna stop playing Hogwarts Legacy and I'm gonna never beat Final Fantasy VII. So I am going to beat those two games, which I'm pretty close on both of them. Then probably pick up Resident Evil 4, and also Last of Us Remake for PC is coming out. It's like too many games. What's this over here? Event.
What is this?
I'm not sure that I love Blight. Like, I can maybe see like a build utilizing it. And like if you're Like, for certain things, like when you can force an enemy to come to you, it could be pretty cool. Or like, I guess if you can get the blight field underneath, like, your skeletons and they're able to, like, tank the enemy, that works pretty well.
I lack the required essence.
But I don't really like having to rely on like a spot on the battlefield that you have to lure the enemies to. Because in Diablo games, you know, being mobile is like such an advantage, and being like tied down to one spot, I feel like definitely kind of hinders that. I can't even see what this one's doing. Sever. Spectre, you charge forward and attack at its site. Okay. So like attack and attack. It kind of reminds me of that thing from Vampire Survivor. The whip from Vampire Survivor with like attacks on both sides. That's kind of cool. I think I was digging Bone Spear though with the upgrade that makes it bounce better though. This is doing less damage. So it charges forward and then returns to you and the return does less. So it does 200 total. This does 214, but also breaks into 3 shards. I guess the shards only deal 25 damage each. But if you're overkilling already, that's probably the better call. And you got Blood Surge. Let's play around with Blood Surge next. In that lag between zones where it kind of like rubber bands you or prevents you from moving forward. Whoa. Draw blood from enemies dealing 50 damage and expel a Blood Nova dealing 126 damage. Blood Surge's Nova damage is increased by 10% per enemy drain. So you draw blood from enemies. Like, did you see how far that range was? Look at that. Holy shit. That's awesome. And then you do like a little mini explosion up close to you. Okay, Blood Surge. Really cool. Like, ridiculously cool. I gotta see when I get a lot of enemies on the screen. Look at that. Holy sh... I mean, I know I've got pretty good attack power for this stage of the game. But, like... I wanted to see how high the range I can get on it. Holy crap. Okay, that's been my new favorite skill. I don't even have it upgraded either. Did I grab the waypoint? Oh, I'm such an idiot. I was like running so fast. I didn't get... I did it earlier too when I was playing on my Druid. I forgot to grab the starter waypoint. Hopefully I don't have to go back there.
What do you need?
I'm bad about that. Grabbing waypoints. I don't know why, like... Diablo 2, I would sometimes do the same thing. I think it's because in Diablo 3, don't you just have to get in range of them? And I put like a lot of time into Diablo 3, and then I went back to Diablo 2 when Resurrected came out. I played a ton of it. I mean, I got like 150 videos on the channel about it. But I feel like I never quite like got over the way Diablo 3 did it in my mind. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of Sever. Did I try Bloodlance? I'm gonna just throw some Bloodlances out there. Right now, I'm really liking Blood Surge and Bone Spear. And I think you only really need one, because they're both energy users, and it doesn't seem to be like advantageous to have more than one at the moment. That's so cool. Okay. The Blood Lance. Throw a Blood Lance that lingers in an enemy for 3 seconds, dealing 114 damage to enemies. To the enemy and all other lanced enemies. So if you lance a bunch of enemies, I guess they, like, stack up. But it's literally just like a little lance. Like, even when there's a bunch of enemies... I guess right now the problem is I'm one-shotting everything. So, like, maybe it gets better as you scale upwards. Alright, so we're gonna refund. I like you. I like vulnerability. You are just got the best thing right now. Blood Surge heals you for 2.5% when drawing blood. If 4 or more enemies are drawn from the heal. Okay, yes. I like it. And if each time an enemy is hit by Blood Surge, you're fortified by 1% base life. While you have fortified, 50% enemy max ice. Blood Surge deals 20%. So if you can keep that fortified going for up to 50%, you get a 20% increased damage. When an enemy is damaged by Blood Surge Nova while you are healthy, you then gain 1 stack of Overwhelming Blood. When you have 5, the next Blood Surge overpowers, and overpowers deals bonus damage based on the sum of your current life. I think I like this one because you can just stack up that 20% damage increase. And now I've got 2 points, so I can come down here. Let's just look through these. I haven't really looked closely at them. Yes. And it doesn't cost any mana? It's just as long as you have a corpse, you could do... Though that's doing... I almost wanted his max Blood Surge, but... Disperse into a Bloody Mist, becoming immune for 3 seconds. Your movement speed is reduced. Critically deal 4 damage. I like the fact that it slows you down. But you do get immunity for 3 seconds. It's kind of like that fire shield that the source has. You could see that like in the higher difficulties when you're getting smoked being good. Bone Prism. Unearth a prison of bone with 24 life that surrounds the target for 6 seconds. Okay, Bone Prism, Diablo 2 basically. I'm not looking closely at all these little skills right now. Yeah, increase radius. Corpse Explosion becomes a darkness skill, and instead of exploding, releases a vile miasma, dealing I don't like damage over time, really. Especially at this stage where, like, 175 damage is probably plenty to kill anything. Slowed, stunned, or vulnerable. I don't have any points. But I lose my skellies. I don't even think I need them, to be honest. And how do I know, like, the overheal thing? Is there a bar for that? Oh, I have to hit them with the Nova. That's going to be a little more difficult. Did I get everything for... I need a couple more cool hearts. I guess I'll just keep moving forward. If anything, I'll teleport back. The problem is, the initial attack is doing so much damage because of that weapon I threw on, that I think it's going to have to wait until I, like, level up a few and the enemies level with me. Because right now, the initial, like, surge is killing everything before I have a chance to...
More strangers in the camp.
The counter. Right now, that's a really fun skill, though, but it may not scale up as dramatically, like, as it seems right now. That goes from 175 to 193 with each point. This goes, it's like an extra 5 and more on the Nova. I can definitely see, like, at the higher levels, that initial blood draw probably isn't going to scale enough. But right now, it's really...
What's my mother's charm on your wrist?
It's mine now, girl. She gave it to me when I let her and her friend pass through.
Was that so, Vigo? Initially, I was very suspicious of Vigo. Like, if you haven't played through the story, I was thinking he was going to turn out to be a bad guy. And then he redeems himself, and he's actually, like, the star of Act 1. He's, by the end of it, it's like, I love Vigo.
Maybe we should go back. Round up the knights.
No, let's
And
keep
leave
going,
my
Vigo.
mother in Lilith's care for as long as that will take?
Like, he just comes off as, like, a scaredy cat wuss.
I'm going on.
And then there's this moment, and we'll be there probably before too long at the rate this is going. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to rush forward, and then I'm not going to stop until I get enough enemies to do the Blood Surge. I'm not going to be able to keep this up, though, because Blood Surge costs 30. The problem is I can't even test out the secondary ability because things just die too quickly. That's a sad thing. I'm killing things too fast with the
What's
ability
special
to
about
actually
this
do
place
what it's
anyway?
supposed to do.
What would draw Lilith here?
Hell if I know. Drama doesn't tell us anything. No one goes in, nothing comes out. That's all.
Yeah, but right now the Necromancer is so clearly overpowered. But, I mean, you also think back about like Diablo 2 and Diablo 3.
No lift.
There's definitely
The
like
gem must
builds
be deeper
that
down.
early on are like think
Locked.
Over here.
like Charged
I can
Bolt
squeeze through to the other
is
side.
clearly like one of the best starters for the source. No one uses Charged Bolt at high level because it doesn't
Enemies
scale enough.
approaching.
Early on, it's like the best AoE, like you know, up to
Fight's
Nova.
coming to us this time.
But once you get, you know, outside of normal difficulty, it does not deal anywhere near enough damage. And that's probably what this is like. I bet the Necro at the higher level is probably a lot more balanced. But like early levels, it seems like a lot of their attacks
That was
are scaling really well. And I also think like there's a good possibility that the Necro and the Barbarian may scale better
Why
later.
would
Like
your mother leave you
like the
that?
Barbarian
She
has
wouldn't.
more skill slot or item slots than anyone else. He's got like, was it two
Good reason.
one-handed weapons, and then a two-hander, and no, not a shield spot. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but he's got more slots than anyone else. Rogue also, I haven't really talked about the Rogue at all. I did play the Rogue up to like level 10. And I thought they were fine. Like, I liked it better than the Barbarian for sure. I didn't get very far with the Barbarian either. I mostly played Source last weekend, and then I got to Druid to about 10. And then I'm like, I gotta check out the Necro. And that's how we got to this overpowered craziness.
Not dying here.
Ow. I guess 200 attack power would probably make any of the classes, you know, play a little better. I'm gonna take a second. I saw I got that. Vulnerable damage, cold damage, shadow damage. What kind of damage? Doesn't... Oh, physical damage at the bottom. Physical... Actually, like, somehow I have accidentally grabbed all physical. I didn't even, like, shadow. Is it the coloring on the boxes? Physical... Physical, no. I mean, that would make sense, but... Not sure... I'm not sure what the coloring necessarily means. Shadow. Oh well. I'm liking the skills I've got right now. I haven't even tried Corpse Explosion just because the other one's been working so well. Probably get that one just to... just to have that invulnerability, but I feel like I don't really need it. Sometimes I don't know if that's server lag or what. Sometimes I have trouble like interacting or clicking. How did they get down there? I want to see them climbing.
Over there, the hoist. At last, I'll ride out. Slain.
I have mixed feelings about the level scaling, like the enemy scaling to your level. Like I think in some ways it's beneficial. You know, like you can go anywhere in the game and you won't have, you know, like a crazy difficulty spike. But it also causes an issue where you don't always feel like you're getting stronger. Like if you go a couple levels and you haven't upgraded any items or you haven't got like any new, like, you know, defining skills, and you're fighting enemies that are leveling with you, there are going to be moments where I feel like you actually are like getting weaker, even though you're leveling up, because the enemies are also leveling like at the same rate as you. But I think generally it's beneficial in that you can go anywhere, you can take things in any order, you could come back and do side quests you missed and actually like face a challenge, and it's not like going back to Act 1 of Diablo 2 and like
How your mind reeks.
you know, having it be so much easier. Alright, so that's corpse explosion. Which, it seems absurd that it has no cooldown. It has no mana cost. Like, as long as you've got corpses. God, that's so awesome. It just seems absurd how good some of the skills are. Honestly, this ability is crazy. Like, it doesn't even get to the second phase of the attack. It just instantly melts everything on the screen. Just right click to win. I think I gotta jump down, don't I? I feel like the Druid would have taken 10 times as long to get here.
There.
It is crazy when you're not doing all the side quests and focusing on all that stuff, how much quicker leveling up is and like getting through the story.
So cute.
I also noticed, I think the side quests, the ones that are like you unlock all the people in town, I think after the first time you don't have to do those. It's kind of nice. At least I haven't got any of them. Oh, my secondary, the Nova actually finally did something. I don't even have to use my bone splinters right now just because of the speed that... I basically just have to run into a crowd and do one surge at the moment, and maybe as I level up here and things start scaling, that's not going to happen, but right now it's crazy. Basically just looking, is there any green stats? It's weird I haven't found a single legendary yet. I believe by this time I had 1 or 2 on my source. And the fact that you get 4 Necros right off the bat seems a little much. Like, you don't even have to put more than 1. You don't have to put any points in it. You just get Necros
Does Lilith know we're coming?
by default, don't you?
You've mastered your fear.
Well, I haven't looked at. Every 8 seconds, your skeletal defenders negate the next instance of direct damage they would take. Increases the amount of thorns defender warriors inherit from you. Well, I don't have any thorns damage. Oh, you're picking... Okay, so you don't get all of these. Should I just get rid of the skeletons and have a 5% critical strike chance? We'll keep them. I feel like I don't need the defenders. Like I'm plenty defensive right now. Just I'm offensively defensive, if that makes sense. I mean, the best defense is a good offense. If you don't get hit, you don't really need defense. And there's that fortify actually finally kicking in. What did I need? I needed to get 50% of my max life is fortify, and then I get 20% damage increase. Ooh, the butcher, right? Was that the butcher? Or was that just a demon? I didn't see the name on him. I'll have to check the video. I double checked it. That was the Brando. He looked a lot like the butcher though, didn't he? I feel like they probably used the same model. I really don't even need to use corpse explosion. Like maybe they get a little bit higher. I'm gonna go and just grab that just so I can... Okay, that looks pretty cool. Becoming immune for 3 seconds. Your movement speed is reduced and you effectively deal 4 damage, so like no damage. But you do heal for half of your maximum life. So you get what? 3 seconds. You get like 1.5% of your max life? Is that... The damage and health on that seems absurdly low. Casting a skill that overpowers reduces the 20-second cooldown, so you could bring the cooldown bit with that. Blood mist leaves behind a corpse every 1 second. I mean, that's not... I guess if you needed to build up your army, blood mist mortifies you. And upping the skills doesn't actually increase the life, it doesn't seem like. Is it still 0.5? Right? This skill seems kind of terrible. Other than, like, the 3 seconds of invulnerability is pretty dang cool. There's the corpse explosion. Forgot how big this area was.
It looks like the same kind of magic as before. I think I can dispel it.
You do it. I kind of like this new character as well. I'm just gonna let my skeletons do their thing for a minute. pop, 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 pop. Like, as long as you have one corpse, you could pretty much just infinitely do that. I'm almost 50% fortified. I like the concept of fortified. It seems like it's like a HP shield, basically, right?
Not enough blood. Never enough blood. I will follow you to the ends of Sanctuary, Mother.
There she is.
It does kind of feel like he knew Leah, though.
Mother?
However, they don't like Mary Sue her too much.
You must stop this.
Sorry, again, if you want to watch
Look at
this,
the gifts she's given me.
go check out my source video.
Mother, no!
You won't take what's mine.
Oh, that gives me energy even though she's immune. Nice.
Please! I don't want you to die!
I'm low on essence.
No!
Sorry about your mom.
You...
Almost down to... Ooh, Iron Maiden. Is this the curses? You only get 2 curses? Is that it? I feel like the Necro has fewer skills than the Sorcerer. Like, they've got a similar amount here, but then, like, there's only 2 active skills down here? I guess, I mean, like, it seems like they're... So you got amp damage not as a separate curse, but they're built amp damage as a... But it's only 9% more damage. It seems kind of... Yeah. Enemies afflicted are slowed and deal less damage. Yeah, I gotta go back to that town, right? I think I gotta turn a quest in here.
Came apart nicely.
Oh, maybe I still am getting those quests in town. I was just too low level.
My husband, Theodore.
Did I not get enough of those things yet? I guess not. I'll go find her, talk with her, and then to talk to Priya. Is that her name? This got me thinking, did I get the waypoint? Yeah, I must have. Actually, no, it's just right at the entryway. Never mind. Nope. Pumping that up. I was trying to think about how much damage my source was doing. By the time I get to level 25, my frozen orb was doing about 400 damage. So like this is only doing 56 on the initial like blood pool from the larger area, but then it's doing 140 to the enemies close to you. Like that's, I'm at level 10 and I'm doing 200 damage, but at a much smaller area. I do wonder how much it's going to scale by the time I hit... I passed what I needed. By the time I get to 25 or, 60, whatever the cap is, 100. And this is where the data actually ends. It's talking to... Treasure goblin.
There is something strange going on.
Oh. Hey, no, go back. Did they just lose that? It's got way less damage though. But Blood Surge's Nova Echoes gain 66. Blood Surge's Nova echoes again after a short delay, dealing 66% less damage. Except I do, like, way less damage. But I could extract this, and then, like, throw it on like that. That would probably work. I think I might do that when I go back to town.
I'm out of essence.
I definitely feel like having a few items like loaned to you or passed to you from another character does greatly increase the speed of leveling and like just getting through the story. Like gear makes a huge difference in how much damage you're doing. Like Diablo 2 to some extent, like especially for casters, it feels like skills are what, do most of your damage. And here, it definitely feels like most of your damage comes from the items. Because like even, your am I in the raid area? Winding way. I'm trying to remember now. I think this is where I found her. Again, I've only done this. I actually only did the main story on my source so far. I was doing like side quests and just leveling up on my other. Either over there or over here. It's probably gonna be the last place I go. I like how those guys just look like trees when you first come upon them. One of my favorite enemies in Diablo 3 was actually the tree guys. And their death animation was really cool. I don't dislike Diablo 3, like a lot of people are really down on it. I feel like it's a pretty decent game. It's just, it came out really in a rough state. And, you know, the Real Money Auction House really dictated how that game played, and I don't know, they built it to really, like, punish you in the higher difficulties, where, like, to progress you really had to go and buy items. Like, I felt like that was the intended, like, pathway. Because, like, the way they had it, you'd play through the game 3 times. Normal, Nightmare, Hell, and then you got to Inferno difficulty. And this is, I'm talking when the game first came out. I'm talking about with the expansions and everything. So you'd get through those difficulties, you get to Inferno, and you start the game over. And Act 1 was hard, but it wasn't impossible. But then Act 2, like, you'd step out of town and things would one-shot you. And the problem was, the items you needed to progress could not really be found in Act 1. You had to get them from Act 2. And there was very few builds and very few, like, strategies to really progress. So it was mostly... I love this part. It was mostly, you know, do you buy items or do you just grind, like, the first couple enemies in Act 2 over and over again? And I think they did that purposefully. I honestly do. But this seems a lot less offensive in that way than Diablo 3 did. Like, I really haven't seen a lot of evidence of live service. Like, I know there's going to be a battle pass, but it seems like it's going to be only cosmetic. Other than that, I haven't seen any way to buy power in this game.
An admirer of sorts. I saved you in the mountains. You'd lost your horse and crawled into the...
I'm pretty sure that's going to be, like, maybe Diablo or Zoltan Kuhl.
Always ends in fire and death.
The fact that you run into him in, like, a facsimile of Tristram, this is Tristram, Diablo 1, makes me think that he could be Diablo. Like, he would have maybe the closest connection with Tristram.
Why are you telling me all this?
To warn you. The day will come when the Horadrim stop.
But I don't know, does Diablo have any history with, like, the wolf as an emblem or as a, like, character? Like a connection with them? I don't think so.
There you are. I think I've lost my way. Someone toying with us. This place is a maze. What's that supposed to be?
What are we supposed to do? Okay.
I see. The path is different now. The statue was the source of an illusion. We must be close.
That path is blocked off until you do that quest, right? It's kind of interesting. It's almost... I'm pretty sure they're using kind of like a phasing technique, kind of how World of Warcraft does it. And I stopped playing World of Warcraft at, like, Wrath of the Lich King, which is where they introduced phasing. I thought that was maybe one of the most interesting things they added into the game.
Not what I expected. Sealed shut. What of the passage over there?
It feels a little funky. It's interesting that it feels like you don't need to babysit your skeletons, like, at all. Like, I haven't had to heal them, I haven't had to resummon them. Nothing. They're just doing their thing.
This is... You might want to take a step back.
I want you to shoot me as hard as you can.
Chespith Chut. Let's keep on. Wish Mother was here.
Consume all your essence to conjure a bone spirit that seeks enemies. Upon reaching an enemy, the spirit explodes, dealing 188 damage to the target. And all surrounding enemies, damage is increased by 50% for each essence. It doesn't seem that great for using all of your essence. Army of the Dead.
Hey! Wait for me!
Well, hurry up. I got places to be. And this just looks like Zoltan Kull's place from Diablo 3, right? Which was weird because that was in like the desert, if I remember correctly.
It's the same seal as before. Chespith Chut.
Speech. I am not stopping until I have at least 10 enemies around. Alright, so now I can hit a corpse. Cost 10 essence, no cooldown. Again, though, I'm basically one-shotting everyone, so like, what's the point? And it seems like they start out with a huge radius that doesn't really go up. Like in Diablo 2, one of the biggest things when you level up, it would just make it where you could cast it once and it would do it on the whole room. But it seems like curses are a lot... there's fewer of them. Like in Diablo 2, it was an entire tree. It'd be like you'd spend 20 points to get amplified damage, you know, to have a big radius. Though usually you would just use plus skills.
You won't take my master's book.
I'm low on essence.
I feel like the bounce back on my bone splinters stopped. Oh, wait, did I pick the wrong? I just realized I think I picked the wrong. The wrong ability. Ow. I was wondering why it wasn't bouncing. Wait, was it bone? Oh, bone spear. Never mind. Why was I thinking that this bounced? It's bone spear that bounced. Yeah. It's getting late and my brain's not working. I feel like at higher levels, bone spear may be better because it's doing 200 damage. Versus this doing a much bigger area but less, like, range damage. that's a quick thing.
Why was a demon guarding that book? I should take this back to Nerel.
I hope you had more luck than me. Interesting. This
So did
ledger
she
was
go the
written
other way all by herself?
You mean that we found Rothma's book here?
I should be going through all of that text, but I don't have time. Alright. I need to go speak with her. Later. I also need to go speak with the item upgrading dude. I'm gonna do this real quick.
Let's have a look at you.
I might keep that in case I start a rogue. Which ones are core? Is that... Yeah. So that's actually increasing the damage of my main skill, so that's just about perfect.
Not bad.
Let me go check my stash, see if there's anything in there I should be using. Oh yeah, I forgot about upgrading my healing potion. I would recommend doing any priority missions you get, because sometimes they'll give you new major upgrades or things that you can use that you couldn't otherwise use.
I'll be here soon.
I think it's gonna send me over. These two are the next one, so maybe I'm at a high enough level. I also had a source quest around this time. I'm not sure if each class has kind of a similar quest that they get. It would make sense. But I read that the Druid actually, because theirs is outside of the starting area, they can't use theirs. Fire damage, conjuration. Fire damage, cooldown. I mean, physical damage, don't I? So some of these may not really be that useful for my setup here. That's one thing that's kind of bad about the system here. Basically, has very specialized drops for your class, so it's harder to pick up items for other characters, and even for trading. I think it's going to be difficult. You're mostly going to be finding, if the flavor of the week is Sorceress, everyone's going to be playing Sorceress, and you will not be able to, get easily the other classes' items. I think that could be problematic. Alright, so I can't yet enchant, because I was going to enchant this on my weapon. Oh, you know something else? Advanced tooltips. Yeah, so now you see how it gives you a range. It'll show you the possible role that that item could have. Cool. And with the compare, it actually shows you the red and the green. Nice.
I need more time.
Oops. Wait, what? Oh, that was weird. It was like it was not updating.
See that the kitchen is ready for the morrow service. Angels above, you've returned. The Reverend Mother will want to hear of this.
Then I get way over there. That lag when you're going through zones is kind of terrible. Go, go, go. There should be a dude here with a quest to save his son. Or maybe it's random. I didn't. Or is he up here? There it is. I was wondering if I was lagging or something.
Listen carefully.
No, that wasn't the one I was thinking of. There's one that sends you into the Black Asylum. And I'm pretty sure I got it back there at that stairway. Or that bridge.
We demand blood.
Yep, we're just gonna keep moving. So honestly, right now, my damage is crazy good for my level. It's not really a benefit for, like... All I'm trying to do is get through the end of the story. I wonder if this will actually impact speedrunners. Because, like... I guess, I mean, your twinking is probably out for speedrunning. But if you find a good item, and since everything levels with you, if you find a good item for the level range, like, you know, this thing, you know, has a level requirement of 4 and is doing 230 damage. So if you got that somehow at level 4 just through normal leveling, you could probably burn through like all of Act 1 like super easy like this, I would assume. So I wonder maybe the items you get are going to make a much bigger play a much bigger part than they did like Diablo 2. Like Diablo 2 was much more about the skill, static, and teleport. I wish you could keep moving while you had that map open. Alright. Kor Valar.
State your business.
Reverend Mother Prava expects me.
Yeah.
Open the gates.
what the weird Necromancer said. With 5 skeletons following him. He seems legit. I always felt like people should react to you more playing the Necromancer. Like, I literally look like an AIDS patient. And I've got like 5 skeletons following me. I thought he was gonna get here and be a douche and be like, yeah, he caused all my men to die. But in the end, he redeems himself. Again, for some reason I kept thinking he was gonna be...
Hold. She's expecting us.
Like a bit of a garbage character.
Here you go. Good luck.
Have the new watch commander replace the forces we lost at the mine. So, you've returned. Vigo here tells
Look like
me
chess
you were
pieces on there.
braver than he.
Didn't notice that before.
First, you...
Okay.
May as well make myself useful. Come by the ruins.
Now I gotta do that pilgrimage thing. The last time I did this, I crashed in the middle of it and had to redo everything. It's kind of annoying. I feel like there should be a waypoint, like right here. This is way too much running. I am kind of wondering, like, is this like story and these elements something I could see myself doing over and over again, like making new characters, one for each class at least.
There's a shrine.
Or like I've played Diablo II, you know, through with each class multiple times. Like each season, you should make a character, and like this is fun, but I do wonder if one of the nice things about Diablo is like you kind of go at your own pace and you can skip things, and like there's a lot of things you can do to make it go quicker. Like you can beat Diablo 2 and I think the world record's like 57 minutes. And if it takes 40 hours to get through the story, 50 hours to get through the story, are people gonna replay this like they did Diablo 2, I wonder? Maybe.
Creature of darkness, for you have wandered beyond the reach of the light. Lift your sins, breathe deep the cold air. The path to redemption lies before you. If you have the faith, let it.
I'm not ready yet.
I'm getting sleepy, but I really want to try to beat this tonight. I feel like I can do it.
Feel the sting of your wounds. Let the ice into your bones. Welcome your pain. For the agony of the flesh is the first cleansing of the soul.
You actually like listen to all this, read through all this. The angels don't seem that different from the demons. Like they're talking about agony and pain and suffering, and like they kind of pretty it up with angels and shit. But like the angels in the Diablo series are not like biblical angels. They're just another faction in my mind. They're kind of jerks too. Like they don't really care about humanity. Some of them flat out like, you know, Reaper souls just want to end humanity. Like they feel like we're an aberration that shouldn't exist.
Around at the mountains towering over you. Feel how small you are.
Performance has definitely got better the later. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast right now.
in worship
And
to the
performance is
Father.
way better now. I'm
For
guessing
he
probably
has
there's fewer people
shown
playing.
us the way.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like that is the case. I haven't even been using that curse just because, like, I really don't need to. You can see how it would be useful on bosses, though. Slowing them down. Make him do less damage. Oh! What did he have on him? I was like, I've been steamrolling this so much, I didn't even really notice that my health was going down by like 50%. Alright, first death on my Necro. I definitely feel like if out of all the characters I played, which I played all of them at this stage, but not, you know, all the way to 25. I feel like if I was gonna play hardcore, it would be a Necro. Like, I actually went through the Necro on Diablo II Resurrected. Not that long ago. Like, I went through a solo self-found Necro during Season 2. Why is that guy, like, doing so much more damage? Like, he even smoked my, That's weird. Like, the scaling on things, like, I rolled over everything, and then that guy literally one-shot all of my skeleton. Weird.
Pilgrim, look into yourself. Find
strange.
your faith. Feel how it fills the void within you. Remember, you are nothing without faith. Hold fast to the light, and remember.
Man, look at my skeletons literally one-shotting, like, everything. Is there like a damage buff or something from this? Enemies hit while afflicted with a from 5 to 10% chance to stun that person. Keep pumping up Blood Surge because it's awesome. Wonder if Blood Surge could be like the charged bolt for the Necro. Like, it's awesome at this stage of the game, but just doesn't scale as well. Does anyone else think Inarius is kind of a douchebag? Very full of himself. Look at all these statues.
This is how you choose to approach me.
Yep.
Forgive this intrusion, but
Tell me what you need.
I must traverse the Black Lake, and that cannot be done without your blessing.
If I've learned anything during my time here, it is that what we're looking for and what we need are rarely the same thing. I once thought I could find an end to this war, but there has been no resolution.
Yeah, keep going. If you want to watch that, yeah, check out that first video. I know I keep saying that. Didn't notice. Got that on this character. You have to claim those in each character, but the main bonuses are count wide. You just get the experience and the gold. Can I can't just teleport. Some of the dungeons you can just teleport back to the beginning. This is not a dungeon apparently. Yeah, there should really be a waypoint up here somewhere. Like right there, it looks like there should be a waypoint, doesn't it? I feel like there is too much running at times. So I wonder in a group how quickly you could burn through this. Like if... I guess you have to be near each other to complete quests, I think. But I do wonder if maybe you could like time things like, okay, you go there, and then I'll teleport to you, and then we'll teleport to that person who's at the next, like, I don't know. Teleports disappear when you leave town, right? But you can always teleport to a player. So I have to probably test it out. I feel like you could maybe accelerate running through the story that way. I do wonder if there'll be like a mode like in Diablo 3. Like in Diablo 3, you basically beat the game one time legitimately. And then pretty much everyone just plays adventure mode, which is like you can do any of the game in any order. There's like different quests outside of the normal game. Like you're kind of just killing stuff and not really caring about the story at that point. There's a thing right here. I don't even have to do anything with how... Look at those guys go. It still seems weird that there's like almost no skills that interact with the skeletons. Oh shit. Alright, sometimes I do have to attack. I was trying to look at my Book of the Dead because I got these guys. Wield a powerful scythe. There's a wind-up attack dealing heavy damage every 10 seconds.
Away, you fiends!
Alright, so you're gonna have 4 of these guys. It said you have to wind up the attack though.
I'm not ready yet.
Oh, we should get moving.
How many obols do I got? 75. Oh, I'm not even in the right. I thought I went into the cathedral where the lady's at. I did not. These guys, their attack is so slow. I think you're generally going to run into situations where the enemy has moved out of the way before they swing. But I'm going to try them for a couple minutes. No, but that's not a thing when the game finally comes out. Like, I know they're doing a lot of stress testing. I hope they have enough servers for when this game comes out.
an outsider.
I mean, this is probably a good sample because I think they announced 1 million people played on that first weekend, which, you know, like, that was a pre-order only weekend. So there's probably even more playing this weekend. Makes me wonder, like, if it's running this well, like, maybe they will be ready for release.
You've returned. Come, let us speak inside, out of the cold.
I hate that some of this stuff you cannot skip. Like, she should just teleport in here. Like, it's great the first time, but after, you know, a couple of characters, I'm never going to want to see most of this again. Right, I'm almost done with the beta. I gotta go back there. Like, the main story, you really don't even see much of the zone. Like, if I really pushed, I bet you could do this in an hour. Okay, oh, sleepy deepy. I still have not been able to use the enchanter. I'm not quite one-shotting anymore. But definitely, if they get hit by the Nova, the one-shot, so far, I think my favorite is the Source of the Necro. I like the Rogue quite a bit. I think I'm probably, even though I think the Necro right now feels a little bit more powerful, I really like the Source gameplay. I might end up going with them, I don't know. I also think there's a good chance they're gonna nerf the Necromancer. But who knows?
I'll explain on the way.
We're gonna go raise your mom from the dead, I know. Nice. When hit while not healthy, a magical bubble will summon around every 3 seconds. While standing, the bubble players are immune once every 90 seconds. But it does give me more strength, dex, life, and kill, fire resist. Like the very minimum amount of fire resist. But god, that looks cool. I like that. Look how long that wind-up is. I think I am going to switch back to Skeletal Warriors. Like, I'm pretty sure these Skeletal Warriors do more damage, plus I get more of them, plus they're doing more damage. Like, I don't know.
Rothma's description of the ritual was difficult to understand. And the notes weren't much better. I think I know how to talk with my mother again.
I was kind of disappointed in the Act boss. Like, I kind of thought you'd maybe fight Rathma, or I don't know. You're just basically fighting like a shade of Lilith, which is kind of, I don't know,
coming from the Black Lake.
kind of depressing.
Do you feel it? Let's hurry.
Kind of lackluster.
They row.
The way is open. We have to go. But do you think Lilith is even still here? It's been so
Performance,
long.
I would say, is a lot better tonight than it was last time, but I also adjusted my settings just a little bit. Last time I was getting, I think, memory leaks, and it was really impacting my performance after a while. Like, I was still getting over 100. There were times where I was getting like down into single digits until I restarted.
You are the last visitor to my sanctum. Though
I think that's the first time you actually see Rathma in the flesh. And the fact that he's alive makes me kind of wonder, where has he been? Like, he was alive during Diablo 1, 2, 3. And he's not... He's the first Necromancer, right? So, like, it makes me wonder where he's been when all these great things were happening. Was he, like, sleeping here?
I need to destroy the tumors to go any further.
And you know what? I would drop, like, a Hydra on those tumors, and it would take a couple hits to kill them. I could just use, like, my basic attack and murder those things. Yeah, these are doing 50 and launching 3 at this point. Yeah, I can't go that way until I do the loop. Loop to loop. You pretty much just follow the pathway here. Kind of debating. I'll probably play this more tomorrow, being Saturday night. Usually Sundays I spend with the wife. We'll probably watch some TV and stuff. Maybe I'll play on the Steam Deck when she goes to sleep, but probably not. Just loops back. Kind of debating if I want to try to get this guy up to 25, if I want to start play more of the rogue that I started. Play the Barbarian, finish leveling up the Druid. I don't know. Maybe I'll just try to get the Necro all the way up. Like, spending more time learning particular classes feels maybe more beneficial than a broader knowledge in all of them, but I don't know. I like what I played on the rogue a lot. Maybe I will. The Druid, I think, I have a feeling they're gonna have to make some major changes to make it work. Oh, we gotta go up and around this side, I think. These story dungeons are very linear. Like, I think there's no randomness at all to the layout on these things. Makes me wonder, like, replayability for some of this stuff, since you're kind of always knowing what to do. But I don't think this dungeon would work, you know, if they randomized it, like the way the unlocking the kind of pathways functions.
So I locked the gates to hell. It was only a matter of time before.
So this maxed out is approaching like the corpse explosion damage. Like if you consider the frozen orb damage. Frozen orb is doing, it's like 200 and like 180 on the explosion. But this is like, it's not quite there, but it's getting closer.
Oh, you refuse to give me the key. You stand in the way of the Savior. All you must understand is once I am victorious in hell.
And if you do want to watch all of this, the cinematics, all these conversations, I'll link to the Sorceress video. You can watch that. It's 10 hours long or something. Yeah, feel free to check that out if you want to watch everything all the way through. But this is the act boss right here.
Outsider! Beyond this chamber, there's nothing but death and mourning. How fitting it shall be your grave.
That guy does not have the right voice for whatever this monstrosity is supposed to be. There's Vigo. Vigo's my boy. I absolutely love this whole scene here. Ow, that hurt a lot. I don't have any corpses here to be able to resummon. That's one problem. This may not be the best boss character in that situation. Ow, ow, ow. The attacks are pretty well choreographed, so it's like not that hard to roll out of the way or just run out of the way. It's not like Dark Souls, but they definitely added a layer of strategy here. And this part's awesome. I love this redeemed Vigo completely, and this scene is really cool.
Vigo! Who did this?
I have done all that was asked. The pain is gone now. Was it just punishment? A stronger man would have refused Venard's bribe. Nerel, is she safe?
Yes, she is safe.
Our meeting is no coincidence. I came here to help. Will you give this to her for me? I should never have taken it. It's so dark. I have repented. Do you think I was too late?
No, not too late. The light has come to carry you home. Do you not see it, friend?
Yes. Yes. I see it now. They have come.
R.I.P. Vigo. You'll be remembered. At least by me. This is cool. And you get his nifty little amulet.
To prove your worth, friend.
Which is the same thing that's on this helm, isn't it? And these don't stack. Like, watch this. The higher one, you see that's grayed out because this has got higher stat on it. Wow, minion attack speed. I didn't know that was a thing. What about these boots? Your maximum number of skeleton warriors is increased by 2? My Hydra thing only gave me... so now I can have 6 of them? 7 of them? Okay, that's pretty cool. I'll take it. Yeah. I'm just gonna play this last video here, or this last, like, the ending here. And then I'll probably end the video, like, when I get the beta end screen.
Give me the key to hell. I will not.
But yeah, this has not been too long of a session.
You don't need to. I saw a vision of the key lifted from my corpse, under the watchful eyes of the great serpent in my sanctum. If you are chosen as you say, it will come to pass.
I mean, this was easier than the Source, definitely easier than the Druid, but it also, I had a few items that I grabbed from my other character, but it wasn't like I had a full legendary kit or anything. It was like,
is that him?
3 rare items.
Is that Rathma?
I don't know if you would have chosen to stand beside me in this new world, Rathma. But I would have saved your place, just the same. And now, all that you might have been has been stolen from me. Stolen.
How did Inarius not find the key?
This key unlocks more than the doors of hell. It unlocks our path to the future. A future made possible because of the price you paid. Your sacrifice will not have been in vain.
Why did they give me a rare after you just get Vigo's amulet? That's weird. Does that sort by level? What is that sorting by? Alright, so we gotta go speak with Nyrilla, who is back here again.
Excellent work, friend.
I like that it gives you the breadcrumb trail. Yeah, got God, that's awesome. I went the wrong way again.
Vigo wanted you to have them.
Neyrelle. She came seeking the Horadrim of legend. Seeking hope. She found neither. But her part in things was far from over. In truth, we would need her more than she needed us. Didn't seem that way at the time, though. For anyone. Inarius proved to be just as unreliable as I'd feared. His self-obsession had driven him to murder his son, Rathma. And from the corpse left behind, Lilith had taken a key to hell. Where would she use it? We could only depend on ourselves to find out.
And that's the end of the beta, at least the main mission. I will probably go back and get this person up, maybe not to 25, but like to 20, but it's crazy that you could just rush through the story and beat it by level 13, and this session was maybe 2 to 2.5 hours long. I'll have to check the final numbers, but yeah, really enjoy the Necromancer. Feels maybe slightly overtuned, but it's hard to tell until you hit, you know, the end game. Even by 25, I feel like we probably won't know. But yeah, I'm absolutely in love with the character. I'll have some other videos, probably some end beta, like level 25 runs on my source, Necro, whatever else I play tomorrow. If you like this video, please do feel free to check out some of my other content. I've got a bunch of Diablo 4, Diablo Resurrected, Diablo 1, Diablo 3 coverage. I also play a lot of VR, a lot of new PC games, retro games. I'm into a lot of stuff. So if you like what I'm doing, please do like, subscribe, drop me a comment with your thoughts, and thank you again for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful night.